Hi everybody, it's Mrs. MacPhail. Today your learning objective is I can multiply one-digit numbers by multi-digit numbers using lattice multiplication. Mr. Nutty, what are you thinking? Oh, lattice? Like on a pie? Well, not quite. That is a type of lattice. But in math, a lattice is a box with squares and diagonals that we use for multiplication. So let's get some practice and lattice do some multiplication. Get it? Let's take a look at my multiplication problem here. I have 23 times 6. The first thing I have to do is draw my boxes. But how am I going to know how many boxes to draw for my lattice? In order to figure that out, I need to take a look at my digits. I know that 23 has 2 digits, and 6 has 1 digit. So I am going to end up having a box that is 2 digits horizontal, or 2 boxes horizontal, by 1 box vertical. So total I'm going to have 2 boxes, or 2 times 1 is equal to 2. So there's my 2 boxes. The next thing I need to do is draw my diagonals. And all that is connecting the upper right corner to the lower left corner, like you're making 2 triangles. I'm also going to extend my line a little bit lower because that's going to help me keep my answer in order when I actually go to get the final answer. Now I need to fill in my factors above my boxes here. I'm going to have one number here, 1 digit there, and another digit on the side here. My 23 has 2 digits, so my tens place, or my 20, or my 2 is going to go farthest left, and then my 3 and my ones place is going to go in the right box. Along the side here, or vertically, I am just going to have the 6 because I'm only multiplying by 1 digit. Super! Now we're actually going to multiply. 3 times 6, we're going to work in this box first, is equal to 18. So I'm going to take my 18 and I'm going to split it up. I'm going to write my tens place above the diagonal and my ones place below the diagonal. So 18. Now I'm going to do the same with 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is equal to 12. So same thing, my tens place is going to go above the diagonal. My ones place is going to go below the diagonal. Now we're all done multiplying and we have our boxes filled in. Our next step is that we have to add along the diagonals. Now sometimes this tricks kids up, so what I say is take a sheet of paper or an index card and cover up the other diagonals so you're only focusing on one at a time. See how I lined that up with the diagonal that I'm going to add along? I'm also done with my factors and I don't want them to confuse me, so I'm just going to cross them out. Our first number we have here is 8. There's nothing else to add with it, and we're going to work from the right to left. So I'm just going to bring the 8 down. Notice that I wrote it below the box next to that diagonal. We're done there, there's nothing else to add, so we're going to slide our paper over to our next diagonal. Notice that we're done working with this now, and we're going to cross the 3 out because that's a factor and we're already done with it. Now we're going to add between these 2 boxes. We're still working in the same diagonal, but we're going to add now. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So we're going to bring our 3 down below the boxes between that diagonal. All done there. Now we're going to go over to our last box. I'm going to slide my paper over so I don't get confused. I don't need the 2. It's a factor because it's above the box. So I'm going to cross it out so it doesn't confuse me. I just have a 1 here. There's nothing else to add. I'm going to bring my 1 down. And folks, that's your answer. We have our answer now, believe it or not. Our answer is the digits outside of our boxes here, 138. Pretty cool, huh? Let's try another one. This time I have 80 times 4. I already have my boxes set up this time. I have 2 digits that are going to go horizontally and my 1 digit that's going to go vertical. So I have 2 boxes total, 2 boxes wide, 1 box long. My 80 I'm going to break up so that the 8 tens are above my first box and my 0 ones are above my first box on the right there. My 4 goes along the side. So let's go ahead and do our work. 0 times 4 is equal to 0. When you have a single digit that you end up getting as an answer for your factors, all you're going to do is you're going to put a 0 in the first spot above the diagonal, and then your actual factor answer, or your product, below it. In this case, I have 0, so I don't have anything in that box. Let's go ahead and do the 8 times 4 box, or 4 times 8, which gives me 32. So my 3 is going to go above the diagonal, and my 2 will go below the diagonal. Now, if you remember what's next, that's right, we have to add along those diagonals. So I'm going to cover up my lines again and cross out my factors that I multiplied so I don't confuse those in my addition. And I'm going to get rid of this down here so I have more space. I just have a 0, there's nothing else to add, so I'm going to bring my 0 down. Let's go to our next diagonal. This time we have a 2 plus 0. Oh, there's another factor 0. I'm going to cross that out so I don't confuse it. Remember that we're just adding between those boxes. So 0 plus 2 would give us 2. Last diagonal we have to add here. Just the 3. I'm going to cross my 8 off so I don't confuse myself. I'm going to bring my 3 down because that's the only thing that I'm adding, the only digit that I'm adding. So my answer would be 320. Let's try a bit of a harder one. 377 times 8. If you look at our problem, you know that I have 3 digits in 377, so I'm going to need 3 boxes horizontal. I have 1 digit with my 8, so I just need 1 box vertical. So basically I'm just going to draw a rectangle and split it into thirds. 1, 2, 3 boxes for my 3 digits by my 1 digit, and then draw my diagonals. What comes next? We're going to write our factors above the boxes, just like how we'd write 377. The 3 goes to the far left box, then the 7 in the tens place, and then the 7 in the ones place. Finally, our 8 goes along the side. So what comes next? Now we have to do our factors. 7 times 8 is equal to 56. Same thing again, 7 times 8 is 56. 3 times 8 is 24. What comes next? Now we have to add along those diagonals. So I'm going to put my sheet of paper here. I'm done with my 8 factors and cross it out. I don't want to be bothered by it. I only have a 6 to add, so I'm just going to bring my 6 down. We're going to move right to left. So let's go over to our next diagonal. I'm going to cross my 7 out so I'm not bothered by it. Put my little plus sign in between so I remember to add. 5 plus 6 is 11. Oh my gosh, but I can't do that. I only have 1 digit in those diagonals. So if 5 plus 6 is equal to 11, what you're going to do is you're going to bring your 1's digit to stay in that diagonal, and then you're going to bring your 10's digit all the way over to the next diagonal to add together. And I'm just going to add a little 1 up here so I remember to add my 1 onto the next diagonal. So 1 plus 5 plus 4 would get me to 10. So same thing. I can't have 2 digits down here, so I'm going to leave my 1's digit and carry that 10's digit over to the next diagonal. And I'm just going to make a little note of it. Two plus 1 is equal to 3. So my answer, it looks a little messy, sorry about that, 3016.